we'll get back. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Manoj Atri, your host for today evening, and welcome to our second webinar of the year. I hope you are tucked in today inside the home. Outside is very cold, and let's see how things roll over. We have our expert mortgage expert Faisal Garcia on wait, and we are just trying to fix up some of his Skype audio, and he should join us briefly. So let's me get this started, and as soon as we have him, we will get rolling with him. Okay, as usual, we'll start with the agenda of the day. So now let me start with the agenda of the day, and we'll walk you through exactly what we are doing today and where we are going today. As in my previous ones, I start with my real estate monologue. On this monologue, I'll try to cover one or two articles and giving a heads up on some of the mortgage rates that have come in the market. So we'll talk about that particular aspect, and then I will try to take over for my next one is home buying step 4. Like we had completed step number 3 some 3-4 week, almost more than a month ago, even 2 months ago, because we deviated for the credit repair and scores understanding and the workshop, and now we are getting back again with the with this particular one again. And so I will be taking you over to home buying step 4, home buying step number 4. If we complete it faster and earlier, then I will take you to a rent to own home article, and we will take it to the see if I can give you some more insight into this particular program. The mortgage expert is there. He'll also be reviewing the article with us. And the next thing here is in the home buying step 4, we have something to be addressed is the mortgage fraud. So we will be taking his guidance on mortgage fraud insights for today. So that is the agenda for today, and let me see if I can if I am ready for taking you over to the article for the day. Okay, let's begin. Heads up with the article of the day, and the article of the day is RBC cuts 5-year fixed mortgage rate. So we are starting today on a bit of a positive note that the 5-year fixed mortgage rates has got cut by one of the major 6 banks. Others banks are expected to follow. So that is starting today's webinar on a positive note, and let's see what exactly have they done. Royal Bank of Canada has lowered its posted 5-year fixed rate by 15 basis points from 3.89% to 3.74%. And this is good news, and we are expecting the other banks to follow. So and this has happened this week only. So keep it on the lookout that other banks may follow. And so if you're in the market for real estate in the near future, get yourself pre-approved, lock your rate, and take advantage of it. Okay. Mortgage rate comparison website founder Robert McLister says RBC is the first of the big 6 banks to cut its advertised 5-year fixed rate after a fall in 5-year bond yield. So there is a correlation there, and once their 5-year bond yield had fallen, they had gone down on their 5-year fixed rate. Not too much in this particular article, but we are just trying to get the headlines passed on, information passed on to you. He expects other banks to follow suit in the coming days. When asked what prompted the rate drop, an RBC spokesperson said a number of factors have impacted the Toronto-based bank's cost of funds. RBC says that includes the rate the bank pays in the wholesale market, increasing regulatory cost and market volatility. He says now that the market volatility has subsided, the bank competitors have started undercutting big banks, which puts pressure on them to act. So some good news that the 5-year fixed rate has gone down. Let's head up to our expert and see if he is available. Then we can take some of his information there. Give me a moment. I may have to get him on. Let me see if he's there. And if I can get him there, then I can put this together. And let me get him there. Faisal, are you online? Faisal, can you hear me? Okay, so basically I've lost him there. Let me see if I can get a connection to him and if he can go live. Faisal sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, let me get this rolling a bit. So give me a second. So in the meantime, I was updating our audience that we have had a 5-year fixed rate drop by RBC. So if you can get us an update on this one, that'll be great.
If you look at the trend,
Mhm.
last multiple years, every year around this time, and RBC is usually the first one to make the change, and all the other banks follow. Rate tends to go down a little bit, and then around fall is when it goes back up, sort of slight dip, slight peak up. And I've seen this year over year, multiple number of years.
Okay.
So I see this as a strategy to make housing a little bit more affordable from the interest rate point.
Okay.
So that's my take.
Okay. We are having a sound issue with you.
Okay.
So you may have to correct again the audio and everything. And let me take over from here. And I'll get back to you as soon as, just in case if you can check up at your end.
Yep.
And then I'll get back to you. So if you can mute yourself and then fix it up, and then I'll hear you out again for our next version there. Okay, let's heads back to the article there, and let's see if I can get the next part of the article in tune. Okay, now this is another article which I was reviewing, and it says looking for a deal, now's the time. So let's review this particular article and see where it is. And because the rates have gone down, so some of the queries that have come here is December 2018 went down as one of the slowest months for sales in the Greater Toronto area, and that presents buyers an opportunity. So that is the inference coming at the moment, that because last year mortgage rules and rising interest rates caused a pause in the market and caused sales to drop. Yes, because of the stress test, we had tremendous issues in getting the approvals done. and now with the dip in the interest rates, you may be able to qualify for more, and we may get into something. But on this particular note, let me guide you looking for a deal. This is how I'll explain you how to get a deal from a real estate point of view. So if you can comprehend that, the first thing that you should do is go and now, because the interest rates have gone down, take advantage of that and get yourself a pre-approval. Lock your rate. So at least now for roughly 3 to 4 months, your rates should be locked. What will happen here is, and then working with a real estate agent or one whom you are comfortable with, or whatever is your format of purchasing, go and narrow down the areas that you like and go and start looking at various properties in that neighborhood. In fact, you should look at all the properties in the area that you have narrowed down. That will give you an idea where the prices are, what is the condition of the property, and what's going on in that particular neighborhood. And once you are comprehending that particular information, try now whichever property becomes a deal, you should be able to jump on it. And you should be able to take advantage of removing the conditions because you are now pre-approved, all your documentation paperwork has been done, and that, so making it a deal is just not by one factor but just the price. By also, if you are pre-approved, you should be able to at least compete with other buyers who are in the still in the condition of financing. And 3-4 things, and they will all formulate towards you making a good decision to purchase and making the right price discussion and things like that. So those are my input for whenever you're trying to looking for a deal. The number of listings dropped substantially throughout the GTA, and properties coming on the market in January are doing so out of a sense of urgency. Okay, that is his viewpoint. So that gives buyers more leverage to get a better deal. Okay, spring is the real estate market busiest time of the year. Yes. Getting it earlier, on the other hand, prefers buyers something that increasing difficulty to find a real estate market like Toronto, bargaining power. So you may have some bargaining power at this particular time of the season, and that is where things are. There is far less competition from others buyers at this time of the year with the financial hangover from holiday season. Yes, this may be a bit of a factor because lots of people have there are a lot of expenses in the holiday season. So people may take a month or 2 months to settle down and then start rolling into the real estate. So in order for someone to come up with a good sense there, that will make it quite interesting for someone to see if this can be done. Let me just see if I can get the right focus from this camera. Buyers are typically strapped for cash and they cannot make big purchases. So buyers who are prepared financially have an opportunity to get a good price. So that is where things are, and that is what they should be looking into. So that there is some good opportunity, and the listings will be coming in, and so let's see if we can utilize. If you are in the market, try to work accordingly and see if you can make a better deal at this particular moment of time. Buyer with orderly finances should have a much easier time during frigid winter months than they will once the snow melts. Okay, so this is some other input, like everyone is not preferring to go out in this cold weather. So in case if you can gear yourself up for the winters and with the snow, then try to take advantage and see you may get much better. There's something to be said about people moving in -30 weather. If you have your financing in order, it is a good time, especially historically, because there are less demand. So that was one of the input from the writer there. And so now we are going to head back to our format, and then let's see if I can now take you over to the article, and we can then go from there. Let me get the PDF rolling, and let me guide you with step number 4. Give me a moment here. So let's see if I can get the PDF rolling, and once the PDF is rolling, I will take you there. So this concludes our monologue, and let me now take you to the article and get you started with the article there. And in between, I will again try to check with the mortgage expert there and see if we can get him on board and see if okay, let's see if yeah, I have the article going on time now. Let's see. Yes, okay, the article is ready for all of us to go through. Okay, today we are now starting with our this is what we were doing almost 2 months now, that we completed step number 3 for CMHC guide, step by step home buying. Now today we are on step number 4, and let's see how we handle this one. So step number 4 is finding the right home. Now that you have a clear picture of your finances and mortgage options, because in the last 2 sessions we had been working on finding the trying to get our finances and mortgages addressed, and so we are now going to review this particular one, and let's see how we are. It is time to start thinking about the kind of a home you want to buy. Okay, and you have to pay very close attention to this particular aspect. The reason being, whatever property you will purchase, it will take you some time to settle there. And let's say suppose you settle by 1 year or 2 years time frame, and now the lifestyle changes, something else changes, and you are now wanting to move out. It may take you another 1 or 2 years to get that whole format again together. So by the time you will realize, it will be 5 years. So any property that you're looking into, it will be in your interest to make sure that you are able to at least make a decision for 4 to 5 years. So that is the very important aspect of it, that you should be able to consider that. Okay, now let me get you there. Okay, so whichever thing that you are trying to do, have a plan of action that you may be staying in that particular property for minimum 4 or 5 years and all the way up to 10 years. So have a careful planning of exactly what will be your next needs for the next 5 or 10 years. What do you want or need in a home. Okay, so now let's get some of these basics there. Location. And surprisingly, some of these things may work, some of these things may not work. So let's give you an idea here. Do you want to live downtown? Now, even if you're wanting to live downtown, you may be curtailed, your format may be curtailed, because in the price range you may be able to only find condos, and condos also which are like very less in square footage. So is that the lifestyle are you looking for? Or you are willing, your requirements are a bigger family format, and you will have to look into suburbs or more in a rural environment. Does the neighborhood have the look and feel that suits your style? So that is another consideration. So this is like a complete two aspects. One is the downtown core and one is the suburbs, where you may be able to find more space for the same value and finding less space in the downtown core. Next is, do you want to live close enough to work? Now, if you're finding difficulty to commute, then yes, you will have to figure it out. How do you address that? Now, are you comfortable with transit, or do you have to have a car to go around? And because the travel time, if you're working in the downtown core, and are you able to comfortably take the transit and go and come back over a period of time, because transit is also going to take you some time. So location as such is very, very important. Size, which is the next format. How many number of bedrooms do you want? I mean, can you live in a bachelor suite? Are you sharing with someone and you may need more room? Do you have visitors who come and stay with you? Can you do with just one washroom, or do you need more? Do you need extra space for an office or extra storage? Do you need a garage? So these are some of the stuffs that will guide you to make a great decision. Now let's go into more nitty-gritty there. Do you require an air conditioner? Or there are some properties where there are no air conditioning properties, and they may be going at a good price than the ones that are having air conditioning. Swimming pool, is that on your list? Now remember that swimming pool requires a maintenance. You may have to close it at a certain time and then reopen it, and both the times when you open it and close it, you may have to call someone and pay for it. So there is an extra fee that you'll have to consider there. Do you have a family member with special needs? Those things have to be taken into consideration. Now, it is important that your home be energy efficient and environmentally friendly. And age is also a factor that you may have to adapt to changing needs as you age. So these are some of the factors that you have to consider, that when what do you want in or need in a home. Let's get to our next one, and that would be, are you planning to have children, or do you already have teenage children? Okay, I have a heads up from our mortgage expert that he's back online, and in the meantime, while I'm explaining it to you, I will give him a call and try to bring him online so that he can hear us out, and I will keep on continuing. So if you can ignore the noise, then we will be, yeah, Faisal, if you are back again, that'll be great.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I was able to hear you even earlier, but we will get someone to check it out at this stage, and as soon as I get a heads up, I have a few queries from you, and then we will try to get that addressed.
Let me know.
Okay.
I cannot see your screen, but
Okay, now your voice is again not there, so let me maybe you might have to go on, and I've shared the screen with you, so you should be able to see me there. And we'll keep on working alongside this, and let me keep on continuing this there. So just check up your, let me see. Okay, hold on, I may be able to see if I can, maybe something at my side may help you it out, or I may have something here. Let's see if I can. Okay, from all of mine ones, all of these ones, let's see. No, this one gives me a, okay, let me see if I have anything else that may be giving me, give me, I should be able to get something there. And let's see if I can hear you. If someone can guide me, that if they can hear Faisal out. I think so, yes.
Can
because
you hear me, audience?
I think so, you should be able to be heard now.
Okay.
Let's see, I also checked up a few things at my end, so I think so you should be good to go. And yes, thumbs up, Faisal is back.
Okay.
Faisal is back, so that is great news, and we will give that a good thumbs up there. So you are back, and we are good to go now. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our mortgage expert is back, and I am continuing with this. So yes, so now I was on lifestyle. Are you close to retirement? So those factors will have to be taken into consideration. Do you want to live where you can go for walks or trails, or need kids to go to a park? Do you want to be like you have some family members, and they need a place of worship regular? Is it important that you live close to family and friends? So yes, all of these particular factors will be a complete consideration there. So at this moment, I will take a short input from our mortgage expert, and we will I will give me 1 second so that I can get him on the stuff that we were talking earlier, and then we can take his input from there. So yes, Faisal sir.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
I began with the article, and we are at this moment we are just able to hear you. I
Okay.
will take time to put this particular stuff of yours together.
Mhm.
And so can you give us a brief about the RBC mortgage rate cuts? So if you can guide us on that one, and till the time we are hearing you, I will get your two windows to work. Go ahead.
Okay. So RBC fixed mortgage cuts, fixed mortgage rate cuts. This is, if you look at it from year after year, pretty much every year, there is a trend where as the new year begins, the spring market enters, or close to summer, there is a dip in mortgage rate, just slightly, very slightly, and that what it does is it increases the affordability for the buyer, and that's essentially the goal, to get and have the buyer um, a little bit more affordability in terms of purchase or refinance, or renovation, home equity loans, so on and so forth. So to give, and usually it starts with RBC, and all the other banks and mortgage lenders follow. So it's a good indication in overall. If you are a buyer, or you already have a home that wants to refinance, but mostly it affects buyers big time, because they are about to do a purchase. This is usually the market when buyers try and get in for pre-approval, locking in rates, so on and so forth.
Okay, and do you expect that the other banks are going to even reduce some of this stuff or no?
Yes, usually it's about the same. Therefore, I expect other banks to follow in a day or two, not even long.
In a day or two, yeah, because this happened last week. So we are expecting that something should take effect there.
Yeah.
Okay, I am having trouble getting you this way, so I will keep it rolling as we go along with whatever we have with your voice, because that will help us also a lot. Okay, now let's get back to my PDF, and let me get you to get this set up rolling there. Get back to us on the PDF that we are there. Next is, the home you choose today will have an impact on your lifestyle and your finances for years to come. As I have given you, okay, like by the time you start something and you are trying to get something addressed, it will you will be amazed that how soon this 4 or 5 years run over, and by the time you're ready to purchase another property, it is like easily between 3 to 5 years. Very easily. Time flies here in this country. That's the best part of this country. If you are considering living in the suburbs, you may be able to buy a larger home. Yes, that's what you can have, more buck for your money, more space for even for your money. The only thing is longer commute to work or school. Be sure to weigh in each of these decisions. And now the important thing is, if you want, Faisal, you can mute your audio. Okay, and now let me see if I can take you to one of the workbooks that the CMHC has. Use your housing needs worksheet in step 4 of the workbook. So now, in order to make all these particular decisions, CMHC has made a workbook. And let me see if I can get you on that workbook and show you that workbook and guide you where exactly it is and how that workbook works. Okay, so this is the CMHC workbook, and it is Home Buyers Checklist, a new homeowner's guide and workbook. And you should be able to call and get it on your own. But as a real estate agent, whenever I am meeting my clients, I always give them a handy workbook of this nature so that they can write down what exactly it is going on. The information is there. It's a workbook completely, and I will scroll it there so you can see Home Buyers Checklist. Step 1, decide what kind of home you want, neighborhood, features, calculate how much you can afford. So it has given you a step by step there. Get the help and advice you need, and we will be going there, and that way I'll be able to walk you through further there. Home purchase cost estimate. So yes, you have everything there. You just have to fill in all the information there. Purchase price, GST only if it's a new built home, what is the cost of home, and then the upfront cost, total upfront cost, other costs, and as you will see, you keep on going along on this one. And then here are the features that we are talking here. What kind of a home do you want? Resale, new, detached, townhouse. We'll be going through all of these to guide you there, but a handy workbook is there, and all of these links are in the description. So that is what I wanted to highlight you, that once you are there on this particular one, you should be able to procure all this particular one and make a sound decision there. Let's go to the next page. Again, it's a continuation of the checklist. Then home hunting comparison workshop. Wonderful. So now you should be able to, if you have narrowed down a few properties, should be able to write down these particular stuff and make a good comparison of how to address that. Item purchased included in the purchase price. Very good. Appliances, if you have to add a few things, if there is any exterior works that needs to be done, if there are interior works that needs to be done, you can make a sound decision by putting all these things together. Checklist for evaluating home professionals, home buying professionals. Awesome. It requires all of these particular, make notes there. Monthly homeowners budgets. Very important, because in the excitement of procuring a home, you forget some of these stuff. This monthly homeowners budget should be able to guide you further there. That makes a huge impact on you making a sound decision there. Preparing to move. Checklist, planning you move 2 or 3 weeks before you move. What all do you need to do? 1 or 2 weeks before you move, 2 to 7 days before you move. A complete checklist in order to the day before you move, moving day. So again, guiding you step by step, and this workbook will come in very handy. Awesome. Maintenance calendar. Seasonal maintenance calendar. January, February, March, April, and all the way to November, December. Then every year, every 2 to 5 years. So you can see how this workbook is a complete checklist that you have. And very, very important, glossary. Whenever you are trying to purchase something, this is a new format for you. You will need to understand some of these terminologies there. Amortization, appraiser, appraisal, appraiser, approved lender, assumption agreement, and so on and so forth. And this will give you 15-16 pages there, and this will be a very, very handy guide and to have in your as a workbook, which will guide you through the process of buying, and you can make further notes there. And this brings us to an important home buyer's checklist, which should be well in your handy bag, that you should have it so that you can make important decisions there and note them down. Okay, so let's get back to our next forms of home ownership. This is, lots of people have asked me these queries, and I am going to walk you through this particular one, and let me take you there first of all. Okay, so we are now on forms of home ownership. Let's explain you, because lots of people have asked me, what is a freehold? What is a condominium? I'll give you the major differences, and then we'll go into the details of it. Freehold is a property where there's no maintenance fees as like in a condo. So that is one of the major. You still have to pay for utilities, but in condominium, the condominium fees includes most of the utilities there. So that is one of the major one. And now let's get into more details about this particular one. So freehold is a property where you own the building and the land that it rests on. So that is called a freehold property. A detached house. a freehold townhouse, a semi-detached property, a linked property, all of those ones constitute of freehold properties. More details to it. Some of the freehold ones have also some component of a fee, and we will get into those details as we go along. This is subject to any rights of the Crown, local bylaws, and any other restrictions in place at the time you purchase the property. Yes. So there at the back of it, there may be some space where you may have a pole which belongs to some of these companies, the telephone companies, the electrical companies, and things like that, and they may have like a right to go to your property and work on those ones. So that is what, and also you will have to work with the local bylaws, how what fencing can be done, and if you can, the trees are there, all of those things, the restrictions are there. Condominium. You own your unit and share the ownership of the common areas with other unit owners. So that is what it is. You own the unit, and whatever are the common elements, you all pay as part of the maintenance fees. These are called common elements. Can include exterior walls, windows, gardens, driveways, hallways, elevators, lobbies, underground parking, and social areas. So these are called common elements. In a condominium corporation, the condo corporation is responsible for the repair and maintenance of the common property. Now, this has to be understood with how things works in various, every condo may have some different rules and regulations, but most of them follow the general rule. So outside of your condo may be covered by the condominium corporation, whereas the inside, as a general rule, may be has to be addressed by you. The corporation may also regulate the type of changes you can make to your unit. Very, very important. So now you're wanting to do some changes inside. You may have to seek permission from the condo corporation, and once you have, and then you can follow those. So very, very important that you have to be very careful about what's going on there. Leasehold. Now let's give you an idea here. You own the building and rent or lease the land. So basically it's called a land lease, and that is what is called a leasehold. Some of the major examples on this one is mobile homes, trailers, and mobile units on leased lands. So they are called, and they are built on city-owned land, and you pay a lease for the duration of the time that it is you are living on that particular one. Next one is co-ops or cooperatives. Now this is an interesting one, and let's explain you, see if I can get out of the format and explain you as much as possible there. Instead of purchasing a specific unit, you buy a share in the entire building and are assigned a unit to live in. So you basically do not own the property as such, but you buy a share in the entire building. That is very important to understand. When you decide to sell your share, the cooperative's board members can reject buyers they feel will not be an asset to the community. Now, this is the most important part that you have to understand. Mortgage loan insurance is not available for cooperatives. So you will need a down payment of at least 20% of the purchase price, and sometimes even more. So that is the important aspect of co-ops, but they are there in the market, and that is what you have to understand and comprehend. Okay, let's take you to the next page and see. Now this is another important thing that is there, and I am going to take a moment and see, thinking about buying a condominium. If you're considering a condo, be sure to review the financial and technical audits for the condominium corporation to avoid surprises later on. And that is why you always have like a status condition there, where your lawyer reviews the financial and technical audits of the condominium corporation and much more. And he will guide you if you should indulge in that particular condo or stay away from it, and if what is going on with that particular condominium corporation. And CMHC has also come up with a condo guide, and it is a very, very interesting read. And let me give you a brief on it so that you can then again go there and understand it. This is a CMHC's Condominium Buyer's Guide, and this covers a ton of information on if you're trying to purchase a condominium. Go down, and as you can see in this particular checklist, CMHC Condominium Buyer's Guide, Condominium Basics, Condominium Governance, the pros and cons of condominium ownership, buying a condominium, checklist, tips and frequently asked questions, tips for buying a new condo, tips for buying a resale condo, checklist for buying a new condominium. Again, they also have a similar kind of a workbook as per my last visit, so they had everything there. Checklist for buying a resale condo, condominium purchase and recurring cost, physical evaluation checklist, question to ask advisors and condominium experts, frequently asked questions, glossary, and provincial and territorial fact sheets. So yes, just it is in your interest to make sure that you go through this and get yourself acclimatized with more when you are trying to buy a condo. Don't be held up with surprises, and that is the important part of it. Okay, so now let's head back to our next one, and this again is a very, very important one to walk you through. Let's see. Let's get our mortgage broker to give us some insight of if he's finding all this of some use or not. Faisal sir, we have a photograph of yours. We were having some difficulty with your video. So what do you have to say about this freehold or condo or anything else that comes into your mind?
There's some important topics you've touched in terms of location, freehold, condos, so on and so forth. And one thing people tend to forget is lifestyle. For instance, if you focus on a type of home, let's just say detached or semi-detached, you're looking in a certain radius and you cannot find something in your budget, then you're traveling and finding a home that's 30 more minutes on top of your existing commute to your work, and that comes in to play.
Yes, that takes a toll. Yes,
that takes a toll, right? Number one. Number two, if you look at the lifestyle and buy a home accordingly, it changes a lot of it. It changes, one, you become a home owner, of course, but two, it also continues your lifestyle. One of the big aspect that is important to a lot of our client is the religious place where they worship. So if you want your church to be close, if you're a certain culture and you go to a certain place to worship, you want that to be close. or you want your children to have those amenities close by. So all those small things make a difference. One thing you touched on is if you like walking and you want trails close by, then that's another aspect. And I'm sure there is many other um, items we could get into, but the reality is you do want to start with a place, an area that you're comfortable with, and sort of work from there.
I'll add a small brief onto this. Yes, I'm very particular whenever I'm explaining my clients. Make your requirements very carefully. Now, let's say suppose you only require a small place. Don't buy a big mansion. Rest of these rooms will be lying empty.
Yeah.
And you'll be paying for all the utility bills there. And you may not even never use them. So whenever, like whether it is the square footage of the property, whether it is the commute, then your price range, everything has to fall in place. I have seen a few of my know-how. They purchased the property very far, and then within few years they had to sell that one and come back into the realm of reality. Commute is an exercise. So you have to be very careful, and that is why whenever someone is even suggesting me, like we were trying to purchase in a suburb, and even further from the suburb, I generally give them an idea. Why don't you take a drive, go and have some open houses, look and see. You will get an idea about some of the properties there, and also how much is the commute. And literally, when I meet them next time, their ideas have changed. Yes, commute. They thought on papers, sometimes it says it is within half an hour. But when you actually go with the traffic and with the with other stuff happening on the roads, you may land up even more than an hour. And
Absolutely.
yes, so those things have to be, give it an exercise. You're going to stay in a place for 3, 4, 5 years. Do some bit of homework, do some bit of an exercise. It is all in favor for you. If you have spent another week or 2 weeks or a month extra, you have done yourself more good than wrong, because you are making the right decisions there.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you're right. That one aspect is very important. Specifically, the time that you go to work. Let's say your shift is 9 to 5, and you want to buy, for instance, let's just say in Whitby area, but you work in downtown Young and Bloor. You may want to start from Whitby at a certain time that you normally would start if you're trying to buy in Whitby. So maybe start 7:30, 8 a.m. and get on the road and see actually what the reality is. Because the MLS listing or even Google sometimes, it can estimate a time, but really you have to go through to find out. I do remember one of the homes that we did, and the walk to Kennedy Subway on MLS said merely 7 minutes walk. Okay, and
Sure.
myself and my partner, we walked that entire walk, and it was no less than 12 minutes.
There you go. So
Okay.
check it out. These are like helpful guides to you, but do an exercise. I mean, keep things in perspective and then act accordingly.
Yeah.
Wonderful, sir. So let's get back to the topic, and let me get our next version there. Okay, so we are back to our PDF, and this is again an important aspect, which is home buying or home building. You have new homes, you have resale homes, and some of the properties you may be wanting to build on your own. So that is what you have to be considerate. Are you looking for a new home? Is the home built and ready to move in, or you have to you have to do some waiting till the construction is completed? If the move-in date gets delayed, how will that impact your plans and finances? If you're trying to purchase a resale home, how is the condition of the home? Are there any major repairs or renovations needed in short term, medium, or long term? If so, can you add the cost of repair or renovation to your mortgage? On my next format, I'll try to explain you quite a lot about this particular aspect of the repair and renovation, because we can get you some money for renovation provided you have a good score there. There are banks who do purchase plus improvement, and you can take some guidance on that one. Build your own. Building a home is a great way to get the exactly size, style, features, and quality you want. And now you have to remember that the mortgage situation will be quite different when you're trying to build your own, because you may require some money upfront for the land, and then you may have a different process for getting the financing through the bank. Those are some of the other stuff that you will have to understand and comprehend there. Start your search. Yes, whenever you are starting your search, it is good to have a word of mouth. Talk to your colleagues, friends, relatives, ask them you're in the market, and in case if you can get some guidance from there. Social media, very important. Try to go on the social media, try to put in your queries, and try to see some of the responses, and try to see what are some of the information that you're receiving from the social media. Very important there. Newspapers, you have lot of information on the newspapers, that there are some free books also where they will, and real estate magazines, where you can get quite a lot of information about the prices of particular properties, and so you will get some good ideas there. Visits to new housing developments. Yes, there are booklets where if you're looking for new properties, you can also search online and find those new properties and information on those one. Real estate websites, internet searches, awesome. Most of the real estate agents and brokerages have real estate websites. Toronto Real Estate Board has websites. CREA as realtor.ca has a website. Very, very important. You can find listings in all areas. For sale signs, very important. You are moving in a certain neighborhood, you see a for sale sign, you have an idea what's going on, and top of the list, a real estate agent. Then you should be able to choose out your expert there, and he also will be able to guide you numerous information regarding your search and your journey to purchasing a property. Useful tips for your home purchase. Whether or not you are working with a real estate agent, visit lots of homes before choosing one. This, I want to give you a very big emphasis on visit lots of homes before choosing one. Let me explain it to you why. Even if you go to a particular property and you don't like it, but you have learned a lot. You have learned what was the condition of the property, what all things were available in that particular property, how many bedrooms, how many washrooms, and what was the price of that particular property. So all of these things, you are getting knowledge in that of that particular area. You're learning more about that particular building. So when you are at the right decision of purchasing, you are able to comprehend and compare it with the properties that you have just recently seen and even have not liked. So even when you're not liking a property, you are learning a lot from that particular property. So make sure narrow down the area, go and visit numerous properties in that particular area, get the feel of it, get what's going on in that neighborhood, get to know the condition of the properties, get to know the prices, and then you will be able to make a very informed decision there. Revisit promising homes and keep records of each home energy rating, utility cost, and major repairs. Yes, very important. You have narrowed down 3 or 4 properties, and ask your real estate agent to get you that particular information. What are the energy bills of this particular one? What are the utility costs? What are the major repairs that they have done recently? What are the ones that they are expecting? Like, okay, roof is about to go, furnace is about to go, or are they new? All of these things are prudent in your buying process. Make a prudent decision when you are purchasing, but all of these ones formulate a part of your homework, and that is what you have to be very important in understanding it. I am almost at the 1 hour mark, but we'll try to cover this particular one and see if we can wrap it up within another 15-20 minutes, and we take it from there. Your home buying team, extremely important. Who you should call. Now let's give you an idea here. First one is, whether it is your first time buying a home or you have done it before, it is good to have a team of experienced professionals to help you along the way. And the first one is a real estate agent. Whenever you're trying to purchase a property, most of the time you are hiring a real estate agent, but he's getting paid from the seller. So you're exactly taking his expertise and not paying for it, because normally the seller pays a commission to the agent. So it is in your interest to get a professional on your side. This is again what you do. You talk to 3-4 agents and see how much he knows the area, how much are you comfortable in working with him, what all things are he bringing on the table, and do you vibe well with him? Does he answer your queries professionally, and does he have the know-how? And make an important decision and then work with him. An agent can help you find a home, tell you about the community, make an offer for you, and negotiate the best deal. All of these particular things are important there. Insurance broker. You will need a cover replacement cost of your home and its contents in case of a loss. And it is also a good idea to get a mortgage life insurance. This will protect your family if you die before your mortgage is paid off. Let me get the mortgage expert on this particular one for mortgage life insurance, and let's see if he would recommend life insurance or term life insurance, or is there a difference in both of those ones. So let me head up to him and let me take his expertise on this particular one. Faisal sir.
Yes, sir.
Mortgage life insurance and term life insurance. Can you explain the difference between the two, and if they are the same, or which one is more recommended by you? So those are the things.
Different clients have different needs. So it's not one recommended or the other. It really depends on client's scenario, client's age, lifestyle, so on and so forth. Mortgage insurance, but in a broad spectrum, if you're comparing side by side, the mortgage insurance is a premium where the dollar amount stays the same or goes up with the age, but your benefit is reduced year after year as you pay down your mortgage. So your mortgage, let's say you bought a home for 500, you had 100,000 down, or 5% down, let's say 25,000 down, your mortgage is 475, and your mortgage insurance is set at a dollar amount. 5 years, 10 years later, your balance of the mortgage is only 250, and if something goes wrong, for in terms of your life, uh, your balance of the mortgage is paid off. That's it. A term life insurance, on the other hand, you pay similar premiums, sometimes a little bit more, but you get the full insurance of 475, which you insured on day one.
Very, very important. And these two things have to be understood very, very carefully there.
Okay. Now, out of 475, again, your spouse or your child, whoever is left behind, do not have to pay the mortgage entirely. They can choose to either put that as some sort of an investment or something where there is a dollar amount that comes in every month to support their lifestyle. Because remember, the person who passed away their income is gone, but the lifestyle of everyone else in that family will change if you just take away their income.
Absolutely. So
Right.
both of them has to be understood and before you deciding it.
Yeah,
There is
I strongly recommend to like look at both and then sort of see what works well for you. But yeah, that is one big comparison.
I would also like to add a disability insurance that should be added to it, because I have seen a few clients who had taken that one and they were very, very like thankful to their stars that they took that.
Yeah.
So
No.
always add that disability
Yeah.
insurance to it.
You're right, because with the emergency services we have in Canada, the likelihood of you dying are much less because the ambulance gets here quick, takes you to emergency, all those things. But the likelihood of you being disabled for a longer period of time due to injury or whatever the scenario is are much, much, much higher.
Yep. I appreciate that. Wonderful, sir. Let's get back to our article. Let me see if I can take back to the article there. And okay. Next is home inspector. Very, very important that you have the home inspector in place. And the reason being is he's the person who's going to, he'll be charging you between $300 and $500, and for what kind of a property that you are purchasing. A resale home, it is if it's a new home, you have the PDI, the pre-delivery inspection, and if it's a resale home, it is a strong advice that you get it through a professional home inspector. You will save yourself tons of dollars if anything goes wrong, and by getting it checked thoroughly. An appraiser, most of the lenders will be taking it, maybe asking for an appraisal before approving for a mortgage, because they just want to make sure that the value of the property is there or not. And your lenders can guide you, and even your real estate agent can guide you with that one. Land surveyor. Survey of a property is very, very important, and though a title insurance may not need a land survey, but in case if you are trying to go for a dispute and a fencing, or you are trying to add something to the property and down the line you may require a survey, and if it's a very old property, the city may require you to come up with a new survey, add another $1,000 to $1,500 to that one, and have access to some of the information for a land surveyor there. Builder or contractor. Now, if you are trying to build a new home, but obvious this is a full gamut of things that you will require to go through various contractors, get again their know-how, expertise, where they lie, and then get into it. But for smaller stuffs, like for additions in a resale or something, you may need a builder or a contractor, and you should be in touch with them to make sure that you have a good team to work with. Lender or broker, very important. Now, you can go to a bank and get your best rates. Also, you can choose a mortgage broker and an expert, which we have also in our team. they will, with one application, they will be able to get you the lowest rate from the market, and they are very handy. And so you do not have to jump from one bank to the other or the other ones. You can work with a lender. Again, most of the time he also gets paid by the lenders, so he's also coming as a free to your team, and it is in your interest to be in confidence with some of them and take their expertise and advice there. Lawyer or notary, extremely important. They will protect your legal interest. They will help you buy is free of any lien charges, work or cleanup orders. Will also review all your contracts before you sign them. Yes. So a real estate agent is there, and on top of it you can have a lawyer, or both of them work in conjunction with each other, making sure you are double checked in your offer of purchase, so that down the line you do not complain. Okay, like, because you may not have an idea, but these professionals who have done so many buyings and selling have a good idea where you are and where you are going. Important to have this team handy again there. We are on to the last leg. It is important to do your research. And again, they are taking us back to the home buying worksheet and workbook where I had guided you there, and it is in your interest to get through that particular one. This is the main one, and we are going to go with our expert on this one, and this is the last leg of the workbook of step 4. Protect yourself against mortgage fraud. Very, very important. Mortgage fraud is a serious offense. It occurs when people intentionally misrepresent their income. Very, very important. Now, and assets to get approved for a mortgage that they do not qualify for. It is also fraud for someone with bad credit to use someone else's good credit to apply for a mortgage. People who participate in this type of fraud can be found liable or even criminally responsible. Protect yourself from becoming a victim of or an accomplice to mortgage fraud. So I am a very strong advocate for that. Make sure you are protected against this. Let's start with the first one. Never deliberately misrepresent your information. So we'll go to our expert and take him line by line. Faisal, can you guide us on this particular one?
Yes, sir. It's essentially protect yourself against mortgage fraud. It is all about never say certain things that are not true. For instance, if you work part-time, do not represent that you work full-time. Even though you are coded as part-time, you get full-time hours. So that should not be the representation there. So that's just one example. Getting independent legal advice is important. Don't sign legal documents unless you see it. Many other aspects, but don't your mortgage. You should not represent yourself better than what your scenario is. Remember, there are multiple lenders out there. If your scenario is not perfect, you still will be getting a mortgage. It just comes at with different contract, maybe sometimes different rate, so on and so forth. But in the long run, it's best not to, because a lender who lends funds on given information, if there is an investigation and it's found out, then it's a bigger problem to deal with.
Yeah. So the first thing is, do not intentionally misrepresent your income. Okay. Now the next one, you give us a heads up on this one too. Never accept money, guarantee a loan, or add your name to a mortgage unless you intend to purchase the property. Because see, sometimes that is why you use your own lawyers here to guide you there, that sometimes you are co-signing for someone and you have no clue what you are co-signing for.
Yeah.
So guide us on this one. Never accept money, guarantee a loan, or add your name to a mortgage.
Essentially, let's just say if you sign as a co-signer, I think that's what it particularly means. And someone says, I'll give you $5,000 at the end of 5 years or something of that sort. I'm just making something up. I've never seen it, but I'm just making a scenario up. And if they don't pay,
yeah, you are liable for it.
You're 100% liable. That's the key word.
Yes.
They buy $1 million property. You are not liable for 500. You're liable for $1 million.
Absolutely. So you have to be never accept money for like you're getting some small portion for using your name and your income and your good credit and everything. You are then becoming liable for that particular property. You have to understand that format here. Use only licensed or accredited mortgage and real estate professional. Absolutely yes. Check them out. If you're working with like a mortgage broker or a real estate professional, you can check their credentials. Make sure you are working with a registered professional there. Never sign legal documents before reading them thoroughly. And that is where, whenever like you have sometimes a co-signer, the lawyers will tell you, you need a different, maybe a lawyer to take care of your interest. Get independent legal advice from your own lawyer or notary. Important. These are important things. Do not be a part of mortgage fraud, or do not become one of the ones who's liable for all of these particular things. Contact your provincial land titles office and get the sales history of the property you want to buy. Absolutely. Even another important thing that has to be understood is that the seller, is he on the title of the property? Because that is where lots of mortgage frauds have gone over. And read about them. And again, in the end, they have given one of these things, and let's see if I can take you there. Then I will try to take you there, and that will guide us where things are regarding mortgage fraud. More about it. If a deposit is required, make sure the funds are payable in trust to the seller's real estate company or the lawyer or notary. If a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Yes, you will goof up, get up into more big trouble if you are not following the being very thorough, and if you're going to be part of mortgage fraud there. And they have come up with, CMHC has come up with more information regarding mortgage fraud. Let me give you a brief synopsis. Let me see if I can take you there. Yes. So all of these particular links are in the description. You should be able to get all this particular information on Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation mortgage fraud, and go through this particular format, and they have each and everything again, and then where you need to report it, everything is there, and what all things are included, and what all. The promise of easy money in real estate can be hard to resist. Consumers who knowingly misrepresent information could find themselves becoming accomplices to mortgage fraud. Absolutely very, very important for everything to be checked up there. And that is what concludes our step-by-step buying for today. So this brings us to the end of home buying step 4, and next week we will be getting into the step number 5, and at this moment let me take a brief about the mortgage broker. So mortgage broker, let me just walk you through here and I will get you there. So we couldn't we had some Skype glitches and we couldn't get him on video, but we have our expert Faisal Garcia, and he visit his website. Let me take you there for a moment, and let's see. Yeah, I have him here. You can visit his website, which is called faisalgarcia.com, and he will be more than happy to help you out. He is also a credit repair expert. So let's see if I can get his credit repair website, which is creditrepairnow.ca, and he will be able to take you to the next level. He has a dedicated expert under his guidance for credit repair, and he should be able to help you further on that particular one. So that takes us there. And for my websites, this is the ones that you have visited earlier, where you must have registered for this webinar. Webinars are, we do this webinars on every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. and try to get on board with us. And let's see if we can give you some heads up there. So let's see if I can get my websites rolling, and the internet is a bit slow, so let it take its time. You can go register yourself, subscribes to my news channel, and we will be able to guide you on a regular basis for any mortgage query, real estate query, and so on and so forth. And all our previous videos are all there that will again further help you to procure more information about your home buying. Now let me take a step and conclude with our mortgage expert there for this evening session, and we then will call it a day. Go ahead, Faisal, sir.
There was lots of info.
Yes.
A lot of different info, all important. I'm sure every audience of ours will have different items that they will find important, but they're all very important aspects that that you need to consider strongly before, during, and the home ownership period. So yeah, all of it, I would say, I would look at the entire video again and make sure, if you're in the home buying process, there are checklists and things to consider, like location, not hiding information, because misrepresenting is one, but not giving all the info is another problem.
Absolutely. Make sure you do your homework. Make sure you are not joining hands or forces where you will be duped down the line. Have the right people in your team. It's a very, very important. I mean, any one thing will go wrong, it will cost you thousands of dollars. Your life may change completely. It is in your interest, it's in your prudent interest of home buying, that you go through these checklists, do your homework. It's a short period of time, but it has long benefits.
Yeah.
On this note, let's conclude for the day. Thank you again, Faisal, for all your time and efforts there, and really appreciate your time here and your expertise there. And we will
want to thank our audience for being there with all the technical challenges I had. It just, yeah, my apologies. I'm not sure what to even say.
No. We will be fine. Next time we had you to walk us through so many of that aspect, which were very important, and that let's conclude this for today evening. We've gone more than our regular share of 1 hour. And okay, so we'll conclude this tonight. We'll see you next Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. Join us, both of us, for your real estate queries, for your mortgage queries. You have websites there. You need to contact us in between. Feel free. We are here to be your guides and help you down the line to facilitate your buying as much as possible.
And make
Appreciate your
sure
time. Go ahead, sir.
to like and comment our videos here.
Oh, that'll be awesome. That'll be that will help us to keep us motivated.
If these videos are helping you in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to like, share, comment. We'd be more than happy to hear what you have to say.
Yes, indulge, talk to us, and we'll be more than happy to guide you to your new venture there. Wonderful. Good night, sir. Thank you
Good
for
night.
everything.
Bye-bye.